In today's video we are going to be changing the aux belt in this 2015 Honda Civic 1.6 I-Dtec diesel. Normally it's quite a straightforward job, so we'll get right onto it. Okay, so what we're doing with this is we're changing the aux belt. So that's the aux belt that I've got, and I'm going to use, I have a special tool, very cheap to buy, £15. It's basically an extendable ratchet. So you clip that onto there, put a socket onto there, or a crow's foot spanner. In fact, even without this, and then you can go inside there, get hold of the ratchet, the pulley, the tensioner pulley, and pull it back, and the belt comes off. But the really big problem I do have is that, my God, I can't even get my hand in. So that's actually really difficult. Yeah, so I can get the pulley, I can take the tension off, I can take the pipe off, I can take the belt off, but I don't know how on earth I'm going to get the belt back on again. Literally I have no idea, because I can't get my hands in. And I wonder if it's easier to go from the wheel arch, but then I can't reach the top. Okay, so I've just tried using the extension. I couldn't use it's a 19mm socket that I would need. I couldn't use the extension bar because the socket's too wide. So what I've done is I've connected the 19mm crowfoot spanner with a single bar. You can get these from eBay, by the way. They're really cheap to buy. And what I'm doing is, the other way around. These are quite solid. They don't come off very easily. Essentially, it's connecting that on there. I'm sure you can see that. And now that allows me to take the tension off the pulley. So bear in mind and pay attention to the orientation of the belt. Not quite sure you can see that, but so take notice of the position of the belt before you take it off. And let's have a look how we're going to do this. I tell you, these Hondas are really freaking reliable, really good on fuel, absolutely fantastic cars, but they're crap to work on. Everything's so condensed. I'm seeing the oil cooler in there. If the oil cooler ever goes, my God, it's half the front end of the car off, I think. But very good engine. So we are going. Okay, so I've taken the tension off. The belt's popped off straight away, but now my spanner's stuck on, which is so annoying. Minor problems, it'll come off. Gee, man. It's always the stupid little things that cause a hassle. I think I'm actually going to use the actual crowfoot spanner. Come on. Like as a gripping tool. Try and take it off. Oh, what? Okay, so that's a problem. Okay, so I've just noticed now that the actual belt wraps around the pulley, so you have to take the belt that way across over the pulley. That's mental. Okay. Yeah, well, I'll take this belt off, but I think for definite it's going to be easier if I take it off from the wheel arch. I think you've got more access. Okay, so at this stage you might think, why don't I just cut the belt and it'll come off straight away. The reason I'm not cutting the belt off is because I want to make sure it's the exact same length as the new one. If I cut the belt off and the new belt doesn't match, which is this one, I'm not going anywhere. But this really is stupid. I don't know if you can even see that. So it's basically wrapped around the tensioner, and the only way to get it off is to get a screwdriver and push it this way, which is extremely difficult. Okay, I think at this point it's taking the wheel off and jacking the car up. That's going to be way easier than doing this. That's the belt that I've bought. Okay, so taking that off wasn't hard, just finicky. It doesn't need to be that awkward, to be honest. So all I'm going to do now with the belt is to do two things. Well, three things. I'm going to check the width of the belt, make sure they're exactly the same. Yes, they are. I'm going to count the number of ribs on the belt. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 7, 2, 4, 6, 7. Same amount of ribs, same type of belt. And then last thing I want to do is just check, very, very important. Don't, I'm checking the length of the belt. Don't put them inside each other, put them side by side. And pull as hard as you can. And just make sure they're the same. Perfect. Okay, we can go ahead and put it back on again now, which hopefully should be a lot easier. Yes, I'd say the way to go is definitely from the wheel arch rather than on top, how I tried to do initially. Going from on top, you're too limited with space. Also, I noticed that the crowfoot spanner that I used, it was rounding the tensioner off. So I've got a 19mm spanner on, but the problem I've got is it's really stiff from underneath to put any tension on it. So I might try and get an 18mm spanner just in case it's an 18 socket. I don't think it is, but just in case. Make sure it's tight. You don't be rounding that off. And we'll put it back on again. Okay guys, so today is clearly another day from when I was filming taking the aux pulley off. So let's go through what happened quickly. Apologies about the noise, it's during the day and we're in an industrial unit when everyone's working today, so it's very, very noisy. Okay, so basically this is what I took off, and it is apparently made of Swiss cheese. So what I did was I put a 19mm socket, which is what this is, on there, and the second I put any tension it just snapped straight away. So then I thought I'd be really clever and I put a jack on there, but I put the jack on the wrong way around to put force, so it snapped straight away, unfortunately. These are freaking hard to find, so I've just got another one from, I think it came from Lithuania. Yeah, so basically when you put this on, put a 19mm socket and bend it downwards, and then you take the tension off the belt. And by taking the tension off the belt, you avoid doing that and damaging it in the first place. But it's very, very hard to get hold of, and you have to take the wheel off the wheel arch. Okay guys, so we finally got that on. That was really tiring and very difficult. I haven't got it to hand because I've borrowed it off somebody, but I'll post a picture of the actual spanner that I've used to get it on. The problem I had is I've tried the breaker bar to get it on. I have also tried, I'm not sure where I've put it, but I've also tried, sorry about that, I've also tried this, which is purposely for removing aux belts with the crowfoot spanner on. But the problem is, this isn't quite tight enough. So we started to round it off and I was worried about it breaking. So two things to be really careful of when you're installing these tensioners is when you, okay, this is my snap one. Don't use a socket on that, use a spanner. And make sure the spanner's fully seated all the way, because they're literally made out of Chinese and they're absolute crap. Honda, this is not good enough, it's really freaking poor. But what happens if you don't get it on, if you don't get the spanner on solid enough, it's really hard to get on. So what I've had to do is just turn it into a two-man job. So I've had someone with really small hands on the top. So I've put all the belt, I couldn't film it properly because it was too difficult. But I've put the belt on all the way around, apart from on the top pulley. So I had a mate of mine hold the belt from the top. I got underneath the car with a really small, well, that spanner, I'll put a picture of that spanner. I said, with that spanner, but that spanner's got a ratchet on it, really good. So what I did was, I took the tension off the tension as much as I could, and it wasn't enough, to be honest. But then my mate got the actual belt slightly up, well, halfway on the pulley. But then because it got a ratchet on, I could go back and put it and give him more force. Went on, absolutely fine. Don't want to be doing that anytime soon again, but be really careful you don't break that. Take it steady and be really careful. And I recommend you get help putting it on. Also, I had another problem, is I really struggled getting the bolt in there and lining it up. It sort of rounded off a little bit. Now I'm going to put that down to the fact that I jacked this up I always thought I was doing it the wrong way, but I was actually doing it the right way. But I think I've put the jack on here rather than at the leverage point, and it snapped. That's probably why. Okay, so it looks like the belt's jumping, but it's not. It's the actual text on the belt. It makes it look like it's jumping, but it's working fine. All the problem is, well, not a problem. The only issue is, if I go in my car, it will still, oh, bonnet open, no problem. Oh, it's actually stopped now. It was showing check system. I think that's just because the battery was going flat, because I've moved it in and out of my garage about 6-7 times. So I think it was just taking a while to charge up. I think now it's registering that there's a charge in there. Car seems happy, we'll drive it, see if it will break down. Shouldn't do though. All good, on to the next problem. I think on the next video it's going to be potentially either changing the oil in the Civic, changing the oil filter. That's pretty straightforward, the cabin filter, the air filter. I'm also going to be putting some videos of welding on the CRX, which is progressing very slowly, but I'm learning how to weld. And then I'm going to put some videos of a Suzuki V-Strom for those bikers out there on how to service a motorbike as well. I'll see you in the next video.